Flower and Garden is way better than Food and Wine.
Hello, and welcome back to If It Were Up to Us, the podcast where we have zero authority, no filter, and more Disney ideas than anyone asked for. I am your host, Chrissy. This is my co-host, Stephanie. Hey, Steph, how you doing today?
Hey.
Still so good from the last time we talked, right?
Yeah, no, I had a wonderful lunch today.
It's so nice. It's always good when you can have a good lunch.
A pizza Lunchable.
Delicious.
Yes. So, it's been a great day. How about you?
It is also going really well for me. I also had a great lunch eating a pizza Lunchable. Got to talk to a good friend during lunch, so that was always nice. Yeah. For those sensing awkwardness and hilarity, Stephanie and I are doing a bunch of pre-records today, guys, so that we don't leave you hanging. And so we had lunch together in between recording episodes. So we're just a little bit slap happy, per se. But yeah. So there is no new news for us at this current moment because nothing has changed in the last hour from the last time we did this. And yeah. So we're going to dive into today's topic and just get it rolling. And this is one that I kind of feel passionately about. Although I might be able to be swayed, we are talking on another Versus episode where Stephanie picks a side, I pick a side, and we debate something no one asked us to debate. And today's debate topic is Food and Wine versus Flower and Garden. What is the better festival?
Flower and Garden.
We shall see about that. So we will start with some opening arguments as to why we feel like that's the best. Once again, we have a completely arbitrary scorecard as to who wins and how we judge things. But please, listeners, who will eventually vote on whether or not we have a winner, just remember that everything we're measuring us up against was completely made up by us. And so we are just looking at things like, does it have a Disney magic factor? Is there nostalgia? Is it time worthy? Right? Is it worth your time to spend doing that? And then, repeatability. Is it worth going back? Again, would you do it every trip? And then finally, we just throw in some random ones to give ourselves extra points when we feel like we need them. Like, does it have a high mom score? Is it worth it for moms who have children tagging along on their trip when they would really rather be there by themselves? Is it worth it going for a first-time visitor, or is it better for a veteran? Or, is it a hot take? So that's what we're measuring ourselves up against. Since, Stephanie, you feel so passionately about this one, I will let you start with your opening remark first.
First of all, I'm not prepared for this.
Neither am I, so this is great.
I'm just going off the cuff here. Mm-hmm. The first point for Flower and Garden is that it happens when the weather is not blazing like crazy and super excessively hot. So it happens in the spring. It's like February, end of February, beginning of March to June. So you have some great weather. You can have nice warm sunny days, a chiller evening, which we all would like in Epcot. My second one is it's just absolutely prettier. There's flowers everywhere. The around the water areas in Epcot are absolutely gorgeous. There's amazing topiaries that, while we all wish they would change more, we understand the logistics of that is really difficult. So we do get a new one every year, so that's great. And they're really cool to look at, especially if you're a first timer and these are all new to you. They're super cool to go and find, and that's fun. Flower and Garden happens when Easter happens as well. So you get some extra Eastery things happening, extra Easter activities for the kids. Instead of just finding Spike the Bee, you can now find the eggs that are hidden everywhere, so it's a little extra. The food is just as good as Food and Wine. It's more colorful than Food and Wine. And that is my opening argument.
Okay. I see those points, and I will address them one by one. However, my opening argument is that Food and Wine is better for the vibes. In the sense that, like, yes, okay, the park might be more decorated, more beautiful, more pretty, fresh and airy and light for the spring, but for Food and Wine, you're getting all of, like, the real, true to its core Epcot vibes with all of the different countries that are showcased and the various activities and things that kind of go with those. It's not just like, here's a bunch of pretty flowers. Also, I happen to think that the food, personally, is better at Food and Wine than it is at Flower and Garden, because a lot of the things at Flower and Garden are plant-based, which is great and wonderful, but I don't eat them. So that makes no sense to me. So I feel like that is kind of where I stand on that. I also feel like the Eat to the Beat, like concert series that happens during Food and Wine is better. We usually see some higher, maybe more well-known artists, perhaps, during the concert series, which is an integral part of the festival itself. So, yeah, I feel like, and I just feel like this is more true to what Epcot is supposed to be about, which is, especially at World Showcase, showcasing cultures and cuisines from around the world. So, those are my arguments, or that's my opening statement. I think that makes for a better festival.
How are the vibes eating cheddar soup when it's 95 degrees with a real feel of 101?
They're fine because your soup does not get cold. They're fine, Stephanie. And when you finish it off with a nice warm beer or cider, it's delicious, okay?
Warm beer?
You get my picture. Cold beer or cider. I feel like there's also more frozen, like, slushy kind of beverages during Food and Wine than there are.
I don't know if that's true.
You're also going to find more flights, which is more bang for your buck. Look at that. I'm just adding on to the list. I think so.
I don't think so. I think there's just as many. Even Drax believes that I'm right.
Yeah.
That there are.
Alright, fine, Drax. Tell us how you really feel.
There are a lot of flights, and we have the Violet Lemonade.
The Violet Lemonade. Woo! Warm beer, Violet Lemonades. It is happening at festival season, y'all.
Violet lemonade. Violet, you're turning violet. The cramp from laughing hurts so bad. Drax, it's not funny.
Okay, all right. Let's break it down component by component. We're gonna compare contrast, and then we'll get into the external factors. We're just talking about. First, we're just gonna talk about and debate the Disney-controlled aspects. So weather, out of here. Not to nix probably one of your strongest points. I'm very sorry, but we're going to go with that. The Disney-controlled aspects. So,
that's just so she can win, guys. That's fine.
I'm just going to give a compare contrast. That's all. Okay. So, we could, we'll start with the food.
Stop it.
Like I said, I feel like the food is more authentic to the overall theme of what Epcot is meant to be and do. It's showcasing all of these different cuisines and cultures through these global, like, marketplaces. I also think that like I said, the foods, there's just more to, and more types of things to eat. It's not so focused on plant-based or, like, edible botanicals or whatever you want to call them. Like you just, I feel like there's more of a variety that people actually want to eat at Food and Wine versus some of these things that are maybe a little more outside the box at Flower and Garden.
We have a butterfly garden.
Okay, fine.
No, I get what you're saying about the food booths and stuff, but I feel like Epcot does a really good job at keeping that authentic, like, cultural food, even with Flower and Garden. So, like, in Japan, you have these cold Japanese noodles. They're amazing, by the way. They weren't as good this last time as they were before. But, so, you still have the same thing. The food booths for each country area, wherever they put them, is still represented. I just feel like, for me, Flower and Garden food booths are, like, fresher, like, more refreshing foods, because you don't have stews and, like, heavier items, and I know we can't talk about the heat, but, like, I don't want a bowl of piping hot cheddar soup, or, like, for some reason this last time I feel like every place had, like, a cheddar bread. Super good, but, like, I don't want a hot piece of bread, I feel like.
Yeah, I will say, I will give you the credit that I do think that the stuff at Flower and Garden does feel fresher. It feels a little less mass-produced. You know, not like you're getting a serving of something, but you're actually getting, like, an individually created meal, right? So I'll give you that. That could be a point in your favor. I still think you have a more widely accepted variety of options versus all of the plant-based stuff. But that could be me just having an issue with anything that is remotely healthy to eat. So, you know, I will eat a cup of soup and a baguette, no, regardless of how hot it is, just because it's delicious. So, I think that some of the other activities that they have going on during Food and Wine, and the different, like, challenges that you can do kind of as you eat around the world, I think they're a little bit better, and I think that there's, like, you could argue, yes, Flower and Garden has Easter, but Food and Wine has Halloween. So.
But they do anything extra for Halloween? They don't, like, put another...
They usually have some kind of additional, like, scavenger hunt type thing for Halloween. I think this year it's something around Pluto and pumpkins, maybe?
Oh, maybe.
Something about pumpkins, I think. I'm almost positive. But they have the two different ones. They have the cheese-based, like, scavenger hunt, where you go around and you eat different cheese-based dishes.
Meals.
Fromage, something or other. Yeah.
Something.
It's French. I took French. I know fromage means cheese. And then they have the Remy's, where they put the Remy's out, you know, and you gotta find Remy in the different places too. So I think those.
But I think what's Flower and Gardens? They do, like, something. Is it something plant-based though that they do, where you have to eat 5 of them to get something?
The bees, like, thing. They have spike.
Yeah, and you get, I think you get, like, some sort of lime or something, Dole Whip or something at the end in a cup.
Yeah, you get, like, a frozen treat or something, I think.
I was trying to remember.
Or dessert or something, yeah.
I feel like I want to go during Festival of the Holidays and do the cookie one. Because I don't really...
obviously. Everyone wants to eat cookies.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think those kind of play into it a little bit more, and I think there's more of that happening during Food and Wine. Or at least it's more promoted, I think, than it is during Flower and Garden.
I don't know. I would rather do cheese over a plant-based item, though.
See? Exactly. My point exactly.
Okay, so you get a point for that.
Okay, all right. Then I'll give you a point for the weather. It is definitely hotter to do because it usually does start at the end of August. But I think by the time that you get into October, November, the weather is really actually kind of nice. So, and it doesn't dip down as cold, except for that week when we were there and it was 30 degrees. It doesn't usually dip down as cold at night, as it could be kind of chilly. And I feel like I am done when it's chilly. But I don't know. Or you could make the argument that when it does get even chilly, it's nicer to have those warmer dishes that you can eat and the heavier things that you can eat because you're cold. So maybe there is a benefit to having it when they have it. I don't want to go eat salad when I'm cold. I want to eat soup. Just saying.
Flower and Garden's still prettier. The
I
park looks better.
I will give you that. It is more
There's
decorated.
more to look at for kids who don't care about the cheese and the wine.
Yeah. All the
They have
topiaries are
topiaries.
beautiful. The floating, like, potted plants in the water is
Yes.
gorgeous. Yes. I'll give you that. It is. And coming right off of, like, that's when most people are coming out of, like, the hard, cold winter. And they're coming down for the first time.
And it's so
There's nothing
pretty.
better than it being, like, sunny,
Colorful.
and beautiful, and colorful. And it just makes you feel alive again after hunkering down for the winter. So I'll give you that. I'll let you have that one. I'll even let you have a half a point for the butterfly garden because I do love the butterfly garden.
So funny.
And you just don't see stuff like that happening during Food and Wine. So, yeah. So then, I hate to like this is tricky because I hate to be like, are we like, I don't know. The thing about both of these is that they are very similar festivals when it comes down to it. Like, I feel like with Festival of the Arts, you have less food booths and more actual artist showcase and things that are happening within the park. And then same goes with the Festival of the Holidays, where you have like the storytellers and you know, all of the Christmas things that are happening. You have the wonderful candlelight processional and all of that stuff that kind of happens or goes on. And so I do feel like there is a little bit of differentiating between those two festivals and the things those have more to talk about. These two really are pretty darn similar.
They are.
So it's kind of hard to distinguish between the two. I have been there, and just like you have, like I've been there for both. I enjoy both of them. There isn't, and I think the same kind of planning tips when you're doing it apply to both. You know.
Yep.
Like your food booths aren't opening up until midday anyways.
Yeah.
So you're still gonna treat the park a little bit like you usually would, which is depending on where you're coming in from is what you're gonna tackle or try to tackle first. I don't know. There's not one way to like say that it's easier to do one festival over the other, I don't think. What do you think?
I don't think so. I really don't. You're right. They are so much alike. It's essentially the same. It's just one has flowers. And the other one, what? I'm trying to think, like, how do they decorate the parks for Food and Wine?
It's usually just a bunch of those, like, kind of cardboard cutout thingies. Or not cardboard, but,
yeah.
You know, the cutouts of, like, let's say, like, Food and Wine. Like, I know the year we went there, I can vividly remember that was the year where it was all about, like, pastries and, like, sweets. The theming was, you know. There was one where it was like this. There was another one. I think it's just a bunch. It's not like plants stuff. I think there is more fall-based stuff and like maybe some topiaries that are fall, but I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a lot of like fork stuff and just
Yeah,
like,
forks.
of like, you know. Whereas, I mean, yeah, it's the park is still beautiful.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not bad. It's just interesting that it's not as. But I would argue that I don't know. Does the park look like that for Flower and Garden, or does it look like that just because it's springtime? I don't know. I feel like the topiaries and stuff come down when the festival is over.
Mm-hmm.
So, I feel like there is more they could do with
Food and Wine.
Yeah.
Okay, so Flower and Garden is getting a point for decor.
Mm-hmm.
Food and Wine is getting a point for food.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think there are pros and cons to both, like weather related things. I feel it's hard to judge the Eat the Beat because I feel like that's kind of arbitrary and that like it depends on your music preferences.
And they both have
a variety of performers and.
So maybe the real thing here is Festival of the Arts is better than both. There's more to do. You can paint a picture. You can
you can go
do
like,
the
there
chalk
are a
art.
lot more, like interactive activities and elements. A lot more photo opportunities. I think that Festival of the Arts is more in tune with what the festivals were originally set out to be. If you can go back to our first season where we did break down kind of the start of each of these festivals, and Flower and Garden was originally a showcase that like taught people how to garden. They had expert gardeners there, and they were like reviewing all, like there were just so many like learning opportunities and moments within the festival itself. And I think the same goes for Food and Wine. They had test kitchens and like,
I remember
chefs.
I think the first year I went to Food and Wine that you could like sign up to be in a class, like a cooking class thing. Maybe I'm making
like
that up.
They've gotten away from that, and it's more about just like, here's the food and drinks, go about your merry way.
I also have a real
like
problem with both festivals because I feel like the food menus do not change enough for me.
Yeah.
I think if people like something so much, make the Violet Lemonade something that's always available. Not like always, but like certain times of the year, like not always during Flower and Garden. Maybe you have it, that one lemonade. Actually, yeah, you just make it all the time. The other like 3 things that people are obsessed with, just make it always available somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I
every food booth change every year.
I think that's true too, or you have one of the menu items stay the same. But I feel like it's more and more you're seeing one new menu item on every other menu versus it being like one consistent menu item and then them changing over new things for. Yeah. I would like to see that. I really want to see them get back to like the original purpose of these festivals. So I think what we're actually saying here is like, yes, the festivals are great. They're cool. There's it's a different way to experience the parks. But inevitably, I think when most people are going, there's a festival happening. Some kind of festival happening. Like, it's a very rare period of time where you don't have a festival taking place, and that's usually just because they're transitioning the park for the next festival. I think they need to be a little bit more exclusive and shorten them a bit. At least Food and Wine. I don't see why that needs to start in August.
Yeah, and I feel like they have shortened it because it used to start in July.
So
it needs even more.
Yeah, I think started after Labor Day, at the bare minimum. I don't know. I feel like it's change them up. So what we're really saying is don't go to either one of them. No,
they both suck. Don't go.
But I do think they need to be changed up a little bit. These are favorites, but I think that if I went to a Food and Wine today, I would feel it was very much the same as it was back in 2019.
Oh,
or
100%.
Even 2023. Is that when we went? 2023? Yeah. I feel, yeah. Hate to say it. I do. Are there tips that you would give out to, or that you do give out to clients who are going during a festival that would, like, you would not be telling them if it wasn't a festival for Epcot?
Yeah, there's an app called Food and Wine that does all of the festivals, and you can go in and put on your wish list like what food you want to try from each food booth, and it has like a pin of where they're at, and then you can have it show you once you decide what ones you want, to show you just the pins, the locations of where the items are that you want to try. And it's really cool. It makes it super easy. I was going to show you a map. So I tell everyone this. Right now there's no festival, so you can't really, but like this is their map. So they would have all the pins of where everything is. So once they get the food booth menu items for Food and Wine, they'll load that in. But you can still select, I think you can still select the older ones and see. You can also get stamps or whatever. You can set a budget in here. Like there's a place to put how much you want to spend, and then it will tell you how much your wished for is. Yeah. It'll tell you how much.
Oh, that's kind of nice. So then you could know, like, because my biggest tip for doing a festival versus visiting the park when you're not doing a festival is to get the festival gift card that goes on your wrist and load it up with exactly what you want to spend. And then when your money's out, because this can get very close to like going to a casino where you just swipe your card, and then the next thing you know, you're like, oh my god, spent
$6, $7, and you're like, oh, that's nothing, and then
it's nothing, and then you look back and you're like, ugh. I will say that you can use your snack credits for the festivals if you're on the dining plan, and the way that we ended up working it, most of these are definitely like shareable size portions of things. And you really don't like doing a festival. If you're eating your way around the world during a festival, regardless of the festival that it is too much food to try to eat at all the places. What you want to do is go with a group, everybody gets something, so you're kind of sharing those costs, and then share those plates. And then you kind of get a bite or a taste for everything. You can always go back if you absolutely love something and get one on your own and eat it yourself. But if you try to eat the entire plate that you get at every single country, you will not make it around the world. You just won't. You'll be stuffed and uncomfortable. And so that's my tip, is like get the gift card or plan to use like your snack credits. When we went, all four of us were sharing the same room, so all the credits were loaded into one thing, like one bucket, you know? It's not like pre-assigned per person. You just get that many. We got had four adults, so we had four, or I think at that time it's 2 snack credits, so per day per person. So we had a bunch of snack credits, and that's what we used them on, was the food menu items during the festival, and then everybody shared them, and you got to try a little bit of like everything, which was really nice. So that's like my big tip is to do that. The other thing that I will say is if you're not a local, do not go to Epcot on the weekend during a festival.
No. Especially, like, opening couple weeks, too. Like, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night, you need to not be there. It's just, it's too busy.
That's when everybody's going. It's way too busy. And your nighttime
Date night.
pack up, regardless of the time of year.
Yeah.
Because everybody that is local is going like, all right, let's go hit up Food and Wine for dinner and have a date night, or, you know, take the kids. And so right around about, I don't know, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, the park starts really picking up. So wait for the middle of the week for that kind of thing.
And honestly, start in the countries. Like, go and if you're rope dropping, do Frozen or Remy, and then whatever, waste time enough until 11 when the food booths open, and then do them then. And then when everybody is coming in the evening to go and eat in Epcot, go to the front of the park and do the rides.
Yeah.
Do it opposite.
That's good. Good advice. Yeah, because, I mean, we could tell a difference between when we were there doing Guardians, just for that, like, hour and a half we were there or whatever. The vibe in the front of the park was definitely less crowded than it was in the back of the park.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Okay, so, I mean, for this debate, like, are we crazy enough to say that neither of them is better?
I don't know. I still feel pretty strongly that Flower & Garden is better.
I mean, it hurts me to say, but, like, maybe you are right just because of the feeling of, like, light and fresh and, like, you're right. I mean, it's a heavy festival in the heat. No doubt about it. Does that make it the best? I don't know.
It makes it better than Food and Wine.
Alright, you know what? I feel like this is a hill I'm gonna die on and say that I just, like, because I don't eat plant-based foods, I don't eat weird combinations of things, like, even though you do get some of that in your Food and Wine, I mean, it's an elevated palate to a point, but, like, I could find something to eat at every food booth. I cannot say that for Flower & Garden.
I can't say that for either of them. I don't even like the food booths.
That's true. You don't. You would rather go eat at one of the restaurants than the food booth.
I want empanadas and chips and guac from Mexico. And the fries, just the fries, from the Yorkshire Fish and Chip Shop. Mm-hmm. That is what I want.
That's it. That's all.
I don't care about your food booths.
Then take her out of the park.
Yeah, I'm good.
That's funny. Okay, well, I guess we want to know what our listeners think, and whether or not they have strong opinions about this, because that might be how we settle this. There might be something we're not thinking of that's just going to push it one over the other.
Maybe.
If you ask me, it's the fact that the Beach Boys come and John Stamos goes with them. And that don't happen at Garden Rocks. That happens at Eat to the Beat. So, just saying. Also, when we went, Kenny G was there, rocking out on his saxophone. Can't beat that. So, I don't know.
I don't think I've ever stood there and listened to a concert.
I mean, I didn't either. We just happened to be sitting in the America Pavilion eating food and drinking beers when he was, and then we were like, what is, and then we're like, oh, it's Kenny G. So, there is that. I don't know, friend. I guess we'll leave it up to the listeners. If it were up to them, which festival would you say is better?
We're gonna have to put a poll out. Put a poll out. We need to know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, this is a short episode, but I will take it because we have another one to record right after this. So, and it's just too hard to say. Like, I cannot think of something else. So, that's it. That's all I got
Yeah.
today.
Chrissy's picking Food and Wine. I'm picking Flower and Garden. If it were up to us.
Well, you'll just have to vote.